Welcome, folks. It's time to duel beyond time.
Stop being happy. This is a serious movie, and we need to brood as we should, Jova.
Dear. We're not in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
But we start with it, and it's the main vehicle, so we should get your GX happiness out of here.
Get your game on!
Yes.
Also, yes, Deji is here too. I guess you can be Yuma. Why not?
So
who am I gonna be then?
You can be what's the protagonist from the
Arc 5? I forgot his name, but yeah, it fits with. I can guess it fits with Dweebs. But the point is that
that's an insult. No.
the point, audience, is that we're doing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bonds Beyond Time movie. Might as well. It's been a while since we did the first OVA.
This was without a doubt one of the biggest events to occur to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise at the time. I think Zexo was a thing around the time of this movie's making.
But I think it was. The point still was it was essentially to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the creation of the franchise as a whole, you know. And as such, we wanted to create a movie that had as the premise a crossover between the three main protagonists of the anime series that had at the point Yugi Muto for the first series, Judai Yuki for the GX series, and Yusei Fudo from 5Ds, with a time travel plot, because the three series are happening in three different time locations, not different timelines, but three different points in time.
That being said, though, the franchise didn't start in 2000; it started in 1998. So so it's not really the 10th anniversary; it's more like the 12th anniversary. But whatever.
I guess from the anime, 12th anniversary is as catchy.
Well,
that's the thing that
I guess it's the anime that.
It's the thing that in Japan, season 0 is technically canonical, and I think that's before the 2000.
Yeah, 1998. 1998.
Yeah, but season 0 doesn't count.
For Japan, it does. Jackie just said that. In fact, a character from season 0 actually appears in 5Ds.
Well, to be fair, we are looking at the English version, so they're probably just counting the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, which came out in 2000s for this being the 10th anniversary. I mean, and that's the thing, though. I mean, as far as most of the world knows, Season 0 doesn't count. I mean, Konami themselves haven't exactly helped the matter either with how they seem to not really regard Season 0 as canon. But whatever here. We're here to talk about a movie, and I'll say this. I have positive feelings towards this movie. Is it silly? Oh, hell yes. Is it a lot of fun? Hell yes. And I would argue that it does take the best elements from each of the series and combines them into this glorious romp.
Also, it does what every Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie should do, have, grown-ass people playing a children's card game. So why not? But the minor thing, the movie had a theatrical release, as far as I know, only in Japan, while in the rest of the world it was direct to DVD.
I think it had a limited theatrical release in some places in America, if I recall correctly.
I can tell you for a fact that in my country it completely unedited. We don't even have a dub, which is surprising considering we're very fond of the franchise. But
considering a certain section of this movie too.
Yes. But yeah, I guess we can just start. Start your copy before the Tokyo TV or TV Tokyo, the logo shows up.
Yeah.
Then get on your card-dueling motorcycles to Duel Academy to become the king of games.
Please stop.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1, click. So,
What else are we going to say it?
Okay. So I know that me and Tio are pretty much caught up on the series as a whole, but just to check with you guys, what is your knowledge of the free series as a whole?
I know much about the original. I know that they go to school in GX. And
it's funded by Jeff Bezos. Kaiba.
For me, it's
5Ds is
motorcycles.
a show.
For me, it's like this. After the first series finished, when Yami went back to Egypt,
and we started Venice.
Yeah, we started in Italy, where
Jaden, what the fuck are you doing in Venice? I'm sorry.
Well, Tia, is this how it's normally like in Venice?
No, here's the thing.
I don't know. Tia, Final Fantasy 15 tells me otherwise.
And here's the thing: GX as a series barely traveled outside its own island. So what the fuck is
so this takes place
location?
from Jaden's perspective, it takes place after the ending of GX.
Yes, and he's using the shitty Neospatian archetype. Don't bother. This set of cards fucking sucks, no matter how Jaden tried to make it cool.
But Tio, as Jaden showed, it's the best series ever.
Unfortunately, here's the problem with this scene for us English viewers. And more specifically, American viewers. 4. GX ends with on a cliffhanger because the later episodes were too dark, so they never got dubbed. So it's like GX ends for us with Jaden dying, supposedly dying.
By the way, fans, do not feel alarmed. Yubel is no longer psychotic and crazy. Something you may not know if you haven't seen season 4.
She's still a weird hermaphrodite demon, but now she lives inside Jaden.
Oh wait. Remind me, did the English version of this movie also censor her to be female as opposed to a hermaphrodite?
I forgot, to be honest. I'm more used with Italian double things.
Well, it's for kids, so it's probably dubbed by the same team. So I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
So you wonder how we got kind of in this situation, like who's this particular villain, that is facing Jaden with these particular cards. You say, we need to transition to 5Ds. In case you need to know, 5Ds takes place in a bit of a future where duos happen on motorcycles.
That's stupid.
Yes.
Look, Yu-Gi-Oh is a ridiculous series, and the concept of 5Ds
man.
is like, no, this is dumb.
And these are Yusei's best friend, Jack Atlas, and...
Wait, I'm sorry, best friend? Technically with context, yes. He and Jack are now friends at this point.
And Crow Hogan. I really don't like Crow.
Anyway.
Jesus Christ,
but Crow's the most popular character, that's what...
Because he has one of the more popular archetypes, but spoilers, Blackwing fans, you're literally having training wheels, so good, I'm not giving praise you for that.
So wait, it was 2010 that the Walkers were still giving characters weird accents.
Yes. It gets even better. There's a sort of a cameo from Joy Wheeler in 5Ds, more like, and for the localization, they still made him voiced by the same voice actor, but labeled him as his cousin, Jesse Wheeler.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so looking at Crow's design, he kind of reminds me of Daichi from Blade.
Yes.
But yeah, one thing. Here's the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. It takes place in the future, but not too far into the future. It's far enough into the future that one bully from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series is now a cop in this time.
Mm-hmm. And apparently Kaiba Corp has essentially created a sort of a dystopian kind of city where you need to fight for wealth and power, essentially.
So basically,
the term you're thinking of is called Silicon Valley.
So basically, Duel Monsters literally took over the world. Basically.
Pretty much.
But just to finish there you go.
We have a title.
3D.
Yeah, this movie was released in 3D in theater.
Movie or no?
No.
Yes.
And after this, there was the the Dark Side of Dimensions OVA. Surprisingly enough, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been lacking in OVAs compared to Dragon Ball.
I mean, that's good. You don't need a movie every year. Look forward to that Pokemon podcast. Me, Pedro, and Gio.
I will still think it will need a couple of them more. Not too much, but again, more like Dragon Ball Z. A couple of them once in a while.
Anyway,
Wait. Let Jova speak because he wants to say something.
It is kind of a shame that GX never got its own movie. You could arguably consider this a 5Ds movie because, the technology used is based from 5D, even though we started in the GX timeline.
Cheater!
Screw the rules. I have some technology from the future.
So in terms of characters that we, or main ones at least, that we've seen, Jaden's voice once again from the show by Matthew Labiortio.
Matthew Charles.
But BTVA gives him a different name. And Yusei's voiced by Greg Abbey, aka the second non-dopey Tristan voice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this particular
the one where my voice gives me super strength.
Yes.
So this particular new mysterious villain has the ability to steal other people's cards. In this case, use a signature card, the Stardust Dragon.
Here, have a card with nothing.
Wait. Dwebs, you mean there was a second TO voice actor?
Tristan, yeah.
Yeah, Tristan.
Tristan voice actor.
The first one was Sam Riegel.
Yeah.
Oh, so the second one is Raphael.
You never seen the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge series? They even make a lot of big jokes about that.
Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. I tried watching a lot.
Nobody
of
likes you.
Stuff,
the girl can rasp.
It's aged like cheese.
Okay, so now we've got
So basically, now it's essentially a time travel plot. Basically, because the villain has disappeared 88 miles per hour style, and now Yusei is learning about the past. Now Yugi was given a trophy thanks to Pegasus.
Wait, how is he still alive? I thought he was supposed to be dead.
Hold on. That's like I mentioned, 5Ds takes place in the future, but not too far that the character.
No, I'm talking about in Yu-Gi-Oh! The main series, Pegasus was
actually,
in the manga, Pegasus actually dies after the Duelist Kingdom story, but the anime actually spared him, so they're basing it off.
okay.
Basically, Deji, if Reshef of Destruction is believed to be canon, Pegasus was already even been seen even as long as after the Battle City tournament.
Okay. Look, here's how we know that Pegasus was alive. He showed up in GX on multiple occasions.
There's that too.
And that took place after Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay, so yeah.
Shit. With the time. See, guys, the villain traveled to changing the future by changing the past.
Wow. Who would have thought?
Oh my god, changing the future by changing the past? Never heard of that.
It's not like we did a whole bunch of Terminator video games where we talked about that.
Well, actually, they're referencing something else, Edge. But
you know, one thing I've noticed actually so far in this film,
Mm-hmm.
for a 4Kids dub, there has been quite a few scenes where there's been absolutely no music.
Yeah. That is weird.
There's one thing, because if there was one hallmark in 4Kids dubs, a lot of the time there was music that never stopped. It played throughout the whole episode, whereas here, there have been a few moments of musical silence.
Also, we just need to be explained a bit. The main characters of 5Ds all have each one a particular type of dragon called the Signer Dragon, and they're basically part of a prophecy thanks to tied also to this red dragon. And in this case, it's giving Yusei the ability to travel through time. 88 miles per hour.
Basically, yes.
And as for the other 5D's characters, the twins are voiced by Eileen Stevens, who replaced Cassandra Morrison halfway through the actual show because she left for Los Angeles. And the redhead, Akiza, is voiced by Erica Schroeder.
Yes.
Or Bella Hudson, or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Bye, Jaden. You will not be missed.
And
he's gone from the movie.
Also, don't ruin Architecture of Venice, please.
Wait, Tio, you just disrespecting Jaden right now?
Oh, I am. I so am.
Oh, wow. I know that Tio has shit taste. Okay.
You want to know how much shitty my taste is when it comes to characters from GX? I rooted for Bastion Misawa. That says a lot.
Who was that again?
The yellow Ra who actually ends up living with the Amazons.
To be fair, I guess one could consider that winning, but basically, Bastion was.
He's the only
Bastion.
The only guy who actually played by the rules and actively got punished for it.
Yeah, poor guy. He straight up went insane.
Oh, trust me.
Oh, look what they did to my beautiful city.
You can rebuild it, can't you?
Yeah.
It's ancient architecture, you uncultured people.
It can be replaced.
Okay.
What do you mean hard to believe? You're a Yu-Gi-Oh! Character. How can anyone in this universe be skeptical of anything by this point?
Our character starts to meet each other. The problem is that while they actually do get along just fine, there's this neat idea that a lot of crossover use, as in the personality clash. Yusei, due to his own backstory in nature, is very socially awkward like that, while Jaden is extremely happy to interact with people.
So an introvert meets an extrovert. Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Okay. So they actually left in Yubel's hermaphrodite design for this. Okay. So
it might be time because we're watching the Blu-ray potentially Blu-rays drove. I know that in some cases some DVDs might have kept some potential visual censorship.
But yeah, I mean, as far as I'm saying, with Yubel's design, they left in the hermaphrodite design.
Also, here's one thing. Here's actually one thing tied to Jaden. If it's for stuff like saving the world of Spirit of Adventure, you don't really need much to convince him.
I mean,
One question.
Yes.
Have any of you guys seen Arc V?
No. Me?
No.
I did.
All right. So,
did.
how many crossovers does Arc V have?
Yes.
Okay, a couple and none at the same time. It's very complicated, Dej.
It's weird.
Okay, so 2010. This is a pretty interesting time in the in the 4Kids history of the Yu-Gi-Oh series. At this point, they've been dubbing the franchise for 9 years, although it wouldn't be for much longer after this, because 2 years later, after TV Tokyo got fed up with 4Kids not paying them royalties or anything, they lost the.
That's what you get for talking shit about Jaden.
4Kids lost the IP, and Konami are now dubbing it themselves.
I just lost 10 years by watching this.
It's okay, Tio. It's okay, Tio.
Tio just lost all the
Don't worry, Tio. We'll rebuild it quickly.
Oh God, I forgot how those are.
Wait, yes. Tio, don't you know the expression Rome was built in a day?
That too.
But it's supposed to be on 7.
But to finish my answer, I watched the entire original series. I tried to get into Yu-Gi-Oh!
I read Hitler. What are you doing here?
Please let Pedro finish.
God, sorry.
I tried watching GX and I wasn't really feeling it, so I kind of just stopped. And by the time 5Ds was announced and I looked at the concept, okay, this franchise has officially jumped the shark, and I just kind of stopped watching.
And then Zexal happened.
Oh yeah, Zexal. That drove.
I don't know what you're talking about, too.
Sure. Exactly. We have to actually get back to that at some point.
Yeah. Oh, what's
Never.
this? An episode called.
I don't think this is part of a show, guy.
Yeah, all that CGI.
If you guys want to do Zexal, you do it on your own. I'm never watching that crap ever again.
But
Pedro, if we watch Zexal together, I'll watch any bad series with you.
Oh, but whatever. To answer also the question, especially because viewers from the last OVA might be a bit confused. Also, yes, Pegasus is about to die. Well, shit.
Now with Pegasus dead, this will cause a rupture in the time stream.
Pretty much. By the way, this also means that
Yugi should be dead at this right now.
No, he's main character immunity.
He's the main character.
All right, Yugi, I need you to have the Oscar performance, kind of like when Simba finds his father. Go.
Come on, Dan, you can do it.
Ten out of 10.
Well, okay, to be fair, considering the typical cliches involving yelling no, Angry did okay there.
But anyway, after we did the OVA, the first OVA, the Pyramid of Light, in which, as you know, I was still kind of out of shape, I actually got back into the actual game, and also the anime as a result. It also helps that I started following people like Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh!, which are great in describing more the card game and everything, so that helped too.
But yeah, Jova knows exactly why I ain't touching Zexal anymore.
And now we have the 3 protagonists united, finally.
Wow,
they united faster than the Birds of Prey did.
Hey.
Well, Pedro, all jokes aside, we really... sure eventually.
Don't worry, I'll be there. I'm mostly joking.
Also, don't we need?
I will do it. I will do it. But I won't like it, goddammit.
Also, don't we need Shiroi for that episode with Kathy Catherine?
Okay. Honestly, too, I'm thinking about doing a refresh with that series. But folks, for those who are wondering Pedro's experiences with Zexel, just check out our first 2 Zexel episode commentaries.
Why not? We need more dislikes. So
I mean, those commentaries are very rough, but they're so priceless and impossible to replicate that we could not possibly just delete them. They have to remain there.
So to recap what is actually going on aside of destroying Venice, Yusei has found out that this particular villain has been traveling through the actual timeline, not through different timelines, through the singular timeline from the future to the past, and stealing particular cards until he arrives here and using the particular dragons to kill Pegasus and prevent something. Now we need also Yugi's help to prevent this to happen and find this villain.
So, translation.
Because apparently killing Pegasus means that Duel Monsters just suddenly stops.
As being the creator of the thing, I can imagine that to happen.
I don't... just because the creator either dies or do the thing anymore doesn't mean the series automatically just stops.
No, I think he means killing him before he starts it, before he creates the card game.
No. The events of these actually happens after the end of the original series.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
But before the Dark Side of Dimensions.
Him killing Pegasus at that point will mean that Pegasus cannot develop the game even further than it would have been.
So, the big question that everyone is asking, what villain is this? Is this a recurring guy from 5Ds, is this a character from one of the previous series with a new identity, maybe changed because he was in the Shadow Realm or anything? No. This is a literal Who called Paradox.
Yeah, he has...
he's voiced by Sean Shamel.
So basically what you're saying, Teo, is that the plot of this movie basically amounts to there's a bad meanie guy who wants to destroy shit, and we have to defeat him by defeating him in a children's card game. That's the basic plot.
So what you're saying is an anime filler villain, because we couldn't...
Yeah, pretty much.
So we want to
I can understand the idea of having original villains for the movie. Dragon Ball also runs on that kind of idea instead of rehashing, but I do believe it kind of works against it. It makes the stakes a bit less noticeable. Sure, mind you, Paradox actually has a solid characterization. We know his motivation, as he's explaining, will explain. He has his reason for doing so, and he has the power to back up his villainy, even though he constantly defines himself as a hero. Little Kuribo made jokes all over the place on that front, so feel free to watch the abridged series version of this movie because it's fantastic.
I don't know. I feel like making an original character is fine because it works. It's a crossover. That's fine. It doesn't lose points for that.
It's also a common thing, even with the stuff like, say, Dragon Ball Xenoverse or...
Remind me, Teo.
The DBZ Fighters or Jump Force, they had introduced essentially an original villain to do that. But yes, Pedro?
Remind me, Teo, was Takahashi involved with this movie?
I think so.
Well, my guess is that's of interest. It becomes pretty apparent that Takahashi just saw him as a villain for the free protagonists to team up and fight against.
Pretty much.
Toyama created Beerus.
So get this. Apparently in the future, the card game goes a spiral so out of control that it destroys the world.
I mean, I know that Takahashi wrote the script for Dark Side of Dimensions, but I don't think he wrote the script for this one. He was just a story writer, I'm guessing.
No,
right?
It was written by Shin Yoshida instead.
But I'm guessing Takahashi was at the very least a producer or something.
It's not really stated here, but it's at least credited as being involved with the project.
Oh well, he has to be credited all the time. Like most of the time, it's just created by.
The future is not written yet, but it's not for what we make.
Shut up and start the card game.
Also, as much as I don't like the pendulum and link summoning mechanics, I don't think the game goes that bad in the future.
Jesus Christ, it's only been 20
Wait, I've got it to you. They're gonna eventually do something even crazier than
Probably. I haven't seen the new anime season, but I heard they also upped that up.
Well, I've heard the most recent season taking an entirely different direction. It's towards younger people. In fact, so far, as of this recording, it hasn't gotten a dub yet. I think they're still dubbing the previous one.
Yeah, they even dubbed the links, I think.
I love. By the way, as I'm watching, I have the subtitles of the Japanese script, and Yugi calls Yami "other me."
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. So probably should explain. Each of our heroes here do have a special mystical presence about them, which helps them duel. Well, Yugi, as you know, has the whole Yami thing going on. Yusei has his shadow dragon sigil thing.
The sigil, yeah.
Jaiden's is weird. Jaiden has multiple spirits about him. One of which is Yubel, who he fused himself with at the end of season 3. Also, he has the spirit of one of his old professors, who was a shadow rider. But then also
the rest of this movie is just
that arc with the professor was weird.
But hold on, let me finish. But the third thing, okay, in one of the weirder moves of season 3 of GX, Jaiden is sort of stop me if you heard this before, a reincarnation of a king from ancient times, known as the Supreme King.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was GX kind of redoing the whole Yu-Gi-Oh thing.
Unlike a Tang, Jaiden was a war criminal.
Also, Paradox has stolen dragon cards from Jaiden and Yugi's friends, off screen, mind you. But anyway, here's the rules. It's 3 versus 1, but to compensate that, Paradox uses a particular archetype, the Malefic one. It's not really great, at least at this point, but I do admit that at little times Konami has bothered to actually give it support to make it very competitive, so at least there's that. Here's how it works. It all depends on the first card that Paradox used, the field spell Malefic Word. After that, the major rules is that you can control only one monster at a time, but that monster is usually very powerful. That's the gist of it.
So many people in this world that just want to destroy the world.
Well, okay, that's the thing. Paradox isn't trying to destroy the world, he's actually trying to save it in his own way.
Alright, one thing, okay, as like I said before, I'm not too familiar with GX, and I'm especially not that familiar with 5Ds. But okay, other stuff I have heard about the other two. The GX dub is mostly known for its unique, in the context of the series, is soundtrack in the dub.
Oh yeah. GX has an amazing dub soundtrack. Like, absolutely. Like, 4Kids definitely went all out with that one. It's not their usual stupid orchestral stuff.
Synth orchestra.
Well, I don't mind synth orchestra stuff, but I'll admit the synth orchestra stuff can get a bit generic. But GX's goes for full on rock, and it's awesome.
The only things,
and as for 5Ds, the only other thing I know about is
hold on, this line from Yugi. Give me a second. Okay, this needs a bit of explaining. Yusei, being from the future, technically is using a mechanic that Yugi has no idea what the fuck it is. That means synchro summoning. Essentially, you have a particular type of monster called a tuner that you can actually fuse while it's on the field with other monsters, and if it reaches the indicated number of level indicated by the stars that were present from the get-go on the monster, you can summon that synchro kind of monster that you have on the field. Essentially, it's another type of fusion.
Yeah, and as someone...
This is basically the equivalent of someone who played Pokemon only with Gen 1 and then decides to play Sword and Shield. Like, what the hell are these mechanics?
I was going to say, as for 5Ds, the only thing I know about that one is that it's a more darker show, and 4Kids didn't... They didn't just toss the darkness out the window.
No. They didn't. Like, okay, look. Here's the thing about 4Kids.
They still make silly jokes every now and then. But...
Well,
Mostly
to be
Crow.
fair, and to be fair, that was stuff that even the original Japanese dub was guilty of. Like, here's the thing about 4Kids. Overall, yes, they did end their career hated, and for good reason with that goddamn One Piece dub. But one thing we do need to remember is, like, if it weren't for 4Kids, dubbing of Japanese anime over to here might not have grown to be as big as it was. And, like, yes, they weren't perfect, but they did give a lot of good effort here and there. Like, it's not every day you see a dubbing company that's actually willing to make footage to make certain scenes actually make more sense here and there. Like, a lot of times, often, dubs just dub stuff. And yeah, that's not always a bad thing, but sometimes you can improve stuff, which 4Kids did sometimes do. What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. While, yeah, 4Kids did a lot bad, I do feel like we shouldn't forget all the good they did do for the anime community still. Also. And, you know, dubs like these are legit.
Yeah, I love how Yugi has basically done nothing up until this point, and he's just sitting like one thing that Yugi is basically like me right now, as someone who just stopped after the original series. I'm just sitting here confused as to what the hell Jaden and
that's because so far it's Yugi's turn. Now it's Jaden's turn, and Jaden being Jaden, of course, right from the get-go is all the cards he needs.
I don't know.
It was just that special.
I don't know. I get the feeling this celebration should start with the OG protagonist doing the first move. It just feels right to me to have that.
Pedro. The idea is to save the OG for last, for, you know, the big, you know, the anticipation.
So Jaden is all about fusing stuff, and his Neo's deck fucking sucks.
Do you think that Jaden's a Steven Universe fan?
Probably. But here's here's the thing about the Neospatian fusions. They're super cool and sometimes very cool effect, but for some reason they decide to balance that by making sure that at the end of each turn, if you don't have a specific card on the field, they return back to the deck. Not even like in the graveyard or anything, no, back to the deck with you.
Okay.
Thankfully, this thing is a bit toned down for this movie. Sorry, go on, Java.
I say this about Jaden. I don't feel like he has weak decks. It's just that he happens to know how his decks work. Granted, yeah, a lot of it is sometimes stuff that's very, very, very skewed in his favor.
Isn't that Yu-Gi-Oh in a nutshell, though?
Okay.
Like, calm down.
Yes, babes.
Okay, question. Who the hell are those ghosts with Jaden?
Sorry, Jova just explained it a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
They're spirits that will help him duel. That's all you need to know.
Essentially, that's all you need to know, basically.
Basically, Dwibs, Yubel was the villain of Season 3. Basically, she was an old card of his who he created, because she had the spirit of a friend of his from back when he was the Supreme King.
The other guy was one of his professors. He was an alchemist and potentially an asshole.
It's,
he wanted to destroy the world.
Well, technically... Actually, he was technically working to save it, because he was actually an undercover guy.
He's one of those characters that, I'm a villain, but secretly I'm a good guy.
I need those cards in order to live, because I'm dying.
to me.
Also, why does this academy have these cards that can destroy the world? Seriously, Kaiba, what is wrong with you?
In the few episodes that I did see, Jaden, to me, just came across as a more OP version of Joey. In terms of
the thing about Jaden is that they push it to be much more, light-hearted and optimistic than Yugi. As a result, however, at least for me, it becomes very insufferable, and when he predictably wins every single duel, you kind of feel sorry for the people he duel against it. It took, I forgot in which episode, the first fight against Zane, for him to actually be put down in his place, and that was actually very cathartic.
I get the feeling Zane was one of your favorite characters.
No, like I said,
I hate nice people,
mostly. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, what was that, Dad?
I hate nice people.
Sorry, Dad.
I
kind of prefer where my characters are more, complex.
Okay.
I grew up in the early 2000s.
You can be a nice person and complex.
I don't mind a simple personality. That's fine.
Okay. I personally do like Jaden, but I do get where some of Teos' frustrations get with, especially with how the show really really did Bastion dirty in favor of Jaden from times here and there. Like,
again, that's probably one of the reasons why I actually like Season 4, because it actually tries to challenge, Jaden in a different way.
Okay, I did like that line just then. I would say you all did a good job, but you didn't.
That's another thing. Being essentially a tribute to the free series in general, they also keep the spirit of the battle commenting being a bit all over the place in terms of insanity, and for kids also went according with that. And since in this case the only spectator technically are Yubel and the professor, it's more of a case where the other duelists are also talking about it. It's not insane, say Thea and Joy on the sidelines having to being cheering up. Of course.
One thing I do like is how each time a character gets a certain term, the music switches to their particular
to reflect that, yes,
which is good.
Mm-hmm, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Yusei's is more techno, I'd say. Jaden's is downright rock, and of course,
now it's time for the Pharaoh to take place.
All right, it's time for the main character to do it. So save
but as Paradox says, Yugi clearly is unmatched because he's so behind the times.
Or is he?
Also, much like Little Kuribo, lampshaded, some of the dialogues imply a lot of homoerotic tension between these three. Like Top Gun level.
You say.
Yay. Oh. Okay, in terms of also archetype, we talked already about Jaden. Yusei uses, like we said, the synchro monsters, but they're mostly based on machines, like the scrap archetype.
And Junk Warrior, which is
the junk that converts into the Stardust Dragon. Yugi instead uses his traditional, Dark Magician deck that he had at the end of the series. He doesn't have any more Exodia nor the free Egyptian God cards, of course, but this is more than enough.
I'll admit, as somebody who was more into using warrior types around the time when I was really into the game, I kind of defaulted more towards Jaden's style, because Jaden uses warrior monsters more.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. When it comes to Jaden, I honestly, even if it wasn't super spectacular, I do believe the elemental heroes at least had something going on in terms of viability and power. Neospatian just feels so self-destructive.
Okay, I feel that Neospatian are a set of cards where if you do know how to use them right, they can absolutely mount the floor of an enemy. The thing is that you need to generate a deck well-oriented around that. It's kind of like the Beast Warriors. Sorry, not Beast Warriors. Gladiatorians.
Gladiator Beast. Also, for some reason...
Wait, she's talking?
Yeah, for some reason, Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician can talk in this movie.
Okay. To be fair, this has to do with
Dark
those
Magician
two housings.
Girl has talked before.
It's because at this point in time, we already know their origin, thanks to the final season.
Joe, what are you going to say?
Literally what Pedro just said. Basically, here's the thing. At this point in time, Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl are revealed to be sort of reincarnations of friends of Prince Adams from back in the day. Hence why, they can now speak here and there. It's essentially their spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Shanked.
So yeah, basically, defeat the monster, you get your card.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also a neat way to reintegrate the game mechanics into this.
That's typically Yugi fashion. Always finds a way to turn them tails. And to the show's credit, they do actually find a way to have it be more legit than the original Yugi series, where stuff was pretty much just like, are we playing Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon?
Yes.
Stuff like that was kind of why I preferred GX for quite a bit, because GX from the get-go followed the rules more so than Yu-Gi-Oh!
Not just that, GX also was the one that gave all the quality of life improvement to the card game that it was desperately needing, and started emphasizing more the archetypes.
So, so in terms of like representation from the shows, I think from the looks of it, I think 5D's got the best of it. I mean,
pretty much.
5D's got, well, at least for a bit, has the entire of the
main cast,
good guy main cast. GX has like 2 side characters. And the poor original series only gets Grandpa and Pegasus.
Yeah, the question that everyone was asking is that what the fuck Kaiba was doing at this time?
He was stroking his own ego.
Paradox.
Gee, Deji, what else is
exactly?
Okay, Paradox, you kind of suck at this because any mechanic that kind of has your line point as a cost is never really worth it.
At this point, he's gone completely mental, as we've seen here.
You know, Paradox could have easily solved the situation if he had a gun.
Taking your cake and eating
That's the thing. That's the thing that there was a character in GX, dueling deck that also doubled as a gun. It didn't help him enough.
Oh, I'm not saying a dueling deck. I mean, just pack heat, shoot Yugi, shoot Yusei, shoot Jaden. It's like, yeah, I'm done.
I feel like this movie should have been longer, to be honest with you, because of the issues.
The pace goes a bit too faster. If it had like 20 minutes more, it might have been a bit more balanced on that front.
I also think it's only 50 minutes long.
All right, so you guys are gonna call me crazy for this, but I don't think this should have been a movie. I think this should have just been a story arc.
Wait. I have to wonder, what was Kaiba's reaction to his Blue Eyes White Dragon getting stolen?
I know.
What about Joey having his Red Eyes Black Dragon being stolen?
Four kids are a weird bunch.
Well, to be fair, we've seen him get it stolen like so many times at this point.
Yeah.
Four kids are a bit weird when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh! During the last few days or weeks even of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, they commissioned that Capsule Monsters show for some reason, and then even before that they funded.
I mean, I feel like the Pyramid of Light movie did have at the very least the adventure. It allowed things to at the very least,
of course they saved the waifu.
Oh yeah. Sure, you'll kill the dark magician.
Honestly, Pedro, I think the Pyramid of Light was kind of the opposite. It went away a bit too long for what it was supposed to be a relatively more simpler plot. This is the movie that kind of needed a bit more screen timing. But I mean, let's just finish the thing is, even if it was a simpler plot, the longer runtime allowed the plot to breathe more, whereas his because the short runtime, the movie has to literally just do, okay, here are the characters, here's the villain, duel, there you go, that's your movie, basically. There's no time to absorb anything.
I do like this movie, but I will. I do like this movie, but I will definitely agree that this should have been longer. Like, whether or not this movie is good or bad, you have such an amazing event like the crossing over of these 3 different eras. Like, hell, you could have made a 2-hour movie, honestly, of this.
Now all of our heroes have no more monsters on the field, and Paradox has a big fat 4K beater. What are we gonna do?
Well, guys, you know that
5K actually.
They're going to sing.
No.
Again, save that
this
for
the abridged one.
I know.
Save that for the abridged series.
I know. We can draw the final piece of Exodia. That always works.
That sadly is not available.
Remember Yugi lost those.
Don't worry, guys. We'll believe in the heart of the.
Well, yeah, that's usually how we solve these things. So yeah.
That's the thing. As the anime demonstrated multiple times, sometimes the art of a card is kind of a bitch. Also, this animation.
Well, to be fair, that was a thing even back in the original series.
I know. It's more of a throwback to that with stuff like. Marik.
It's actually part of Takahashi's artwork more in general, because even if you check the manga, the art, sometimes there are panels in the manga that actually have faces like that.
They're even saying it now.
Pretty much. Well, it's tradition at this point.
Yeah, I know, it's tradition at this point.
Okay. And to be fair, when it comes to Jaden, he sort of got that from Yuki. For those who don't recall, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX literally starts with Jaden getting a card from Yuki.
Of course, it's Kuribo saving the day. Why not?
Are you?
I mean, isn't Kuribo kind of the unofficial mask?
Kinda.
Okay, so here's the deal. Both Jaden and Yugi have a thing with Kuribo. Jaden more so with winged Kuribo, which he got from Yugi, and Yugi from the original Kuribo here. Kuribo is the classic. He's the monster who looks tiny and helpless, but, well, the card game loved to give him a lot of abilities and a lot of stuff, and, well, holy cow, winged Kuribo can absolutely wreck an enemy with the right deck.
I wasn't a fan of that brief CGI cel-shaded model of Kuribo. It wasn't. You can tell the budget was not the highest.
Come on, guys, hurry up! Our budget's now down to like $200 and a packet of crisps.
And mind you, if I recall correctly, this was one occasion where the DVD Blu-ray release fixed a couple of things because there were a couple of off-model errors somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is
I only care about Jack, sorry.
You see, of course, all I need to do is believe in my friends, and I can win this duel.
Sorry, guys, GX, your side character.
Guess which series the producers prefer? Hint: it happens again in Arc 5.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Arc V spends most of the second season in the 5D's dimension.
It's
Basically, Dej, one of Arc V's gimmicks is revisiting characters and whatnot from older series.
They spend a lot of times in the 5D's version.
And look, don't get me wrong. 5D's is a relatively good show and all, but Jesus, dudes, like, that's amazing?
I can kind of understand that for Arc V because, well, whatever. Like, if you guys prefer 5Ds, that's up to you.
Be the anniversary season, right?
I don't know. I can kind of understand. Go ahead.
Arc V, when it started off, was actually what people considered a relatively very good return to form here and there.
And then the last episode happened, and everybody.
And now Stardust Dragon gets a 10K beater.
Oh yeah,
it's over 9,000.
But now
it's funny because
with all your powers combined.
It's funny because Sean Chanel's playing the.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat you, a paradox.
The dialogue. That's beautiful, classic 4Kids dialogue.
Yeah. With our powers combined.
We're Yu-Gi-Oh! We're Yu-Gi-Oh! We're Yu-Gi-Oh! We're Yu-Gi-Oh! We're Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's the Deji. Thank you. Anyway, that's the sad thing. Very true. This is one of 4Kids' last big gasps at the series.
I know. You already said.
And yes, Paradox dies for this.
Oh, and he dies Dragon Ball Z style, apparently. But whatever. I can kind of understand Arc V doing it because whatever. Okay, you guys prefer 5Ds. That's your business. But this movie is supposed to be a celebration of all three of the series, and yet you clearly are doing nothing but pandering to 5Ds fans. Like, seriously. Little to no representation from the original series in this.
Pegasus is right there.
Okay, that's why I said little.
And we had Dark Magician.
I still have no idea what Jaden was doing.
Well, in that case, let me ask you. Where's Joey?
Wait.
Where's Tristan? Where's Taya?
Okay, so here's my counter-argument. Too many cooks spoil the meal.
Well, maybe then that's why this movie should have been longer, so we could include more fan service for other.
Probably,
yeah. But do you want it to be fan service the movie, or do you actually want it to tell a story?
How about both?
Well, how about both?
Well, Dark Side of Dimensions does that.
Exactly.
Well, to be fair, Dark Side of Dimension is contained to just as a
exactly.
Do it.
I'm talking about in terms of a crossover movie.
That's the advantage, because it's only one show it's focusing on. It could do more stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It can get away with it, but it's like we have 3 different seasons.
Yusei can go on knowing that the timeline has been restored to its normal length. Until Zexel comes around and showcase the fact that the timeline splits at some point.
Zexel.
Yeah, it was the friends we made along the way.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we're done.
So,
well, that happens. Seriously, this feels like it ended as soon as it began.
Okay. Let me just say this right now. I like this movie a lot, but I definitely agree that it should have been longer for such a momentous occasion. Like, seriously, there's...
Well, go on.
Yes?
Wait, how many composers are there?
A shit ton, it seems. Jesus.
Remember, it's a combination of themes from all 3 series. It has to be expected.
Also, yeah, for the credits, we will be hearing the Souls theme as well.
Anyway, Dibs, since you're the Yu-Gi-Oh, more non-veteran and everything, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, my thing is mainly just the anime. I mean, overall, it's fine. I mean, it does what it sets out to do. It takes 3 shows and puts them together for like nearly an hour. Also, yeah, this is the GX theme, I take it.
Get your game on,
Love it.
Well, yeah, if there's one thing Focus has always done well, it's themes. But anyway, I mean, I get it. You know, at this time, 5Ds was the newest show, so of course you're gonna be at least a little bit more biased towards that. But to the point where barely any of the side characters from the other shows even gets a look in, like, man. But overall, I mean, it was somewhat decently animated for something that's only 50 minutes. Although I can't imagine going to the cinema for this, though.
Nah.
If I'm going to be honest. This is probably better for stuff like for TV or watching on the small screen in general.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! Anniversary projects, I much prefer Dark Side of Dimensions, mainly because it's longer and mainly because I feel it handles fan service better. But yeah, that's about it.
Badger?
This movie sucks. It's too short for its own good. There's really no plot. Okay, there's a plot, but it feels like they try to rush through everything for no reason. I'm all for. I get it. They want to showcase the duel, but it didn't feel as climactic as we thought it would be. There's just something about this that could have been better, especially since it's meant to be the anniversary movie. You expect more.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, clearly Yusei is basically... Wait, that's his name, right? Yusei?
Yes.
He's clearly the main character of this, which I'm not complaining because 5Ds is the newest one, but I feel like we could have had a better chance with moments with Jaden.
Thank you for
I'm not saying Adentea, Joey.
The best is yet to come.
The XYZ summoning mechanic broke the game. It was the first of many things to come.
Okay, yeah. Considering what would happen to kids just 2 years after this.
They said it's yet to come, and they didn't say that it's coming immediately.
And ironically, Dibs, a lot of people celebrated when 4 kids died. So,
yeah,
I guess it depends on how you take that wording.
Well, that's the thing, Joe. By the time
I have a lot of memories of 4 kids stuff, and there's a few things that there's a few things that I miss, but I don't miss their style of dubbing.
Yeah, go ahead, Dutch.
Yeah, I just could have been better. Kevin Worth's as Celebration series is like, I didn't need to happen. I would have preferred a longer story arc in 5Ds instead of this. Even if it was basically like the virtual reality filler arc in Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like this lasted longer and then it didn't add anything, I would have been better with that. But that's just my takeaway. Yeah, I'm done.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, Jova, to answer you. Basically, well, Jova, by the time 4Kids died, there were already now plenty of companies doing the same thing. They were bringing a lot of anime over. So people were not as... the anime fans were not as dependent on them anymore as they were in previous years.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, that's the main reason why. Like, okay, you're a terrible company, and you're not even necessary anymore. You can even be considered a necessary evil anymore. So screw you.
Well, hence why I said to some people the best did come when 4Kids got shuttered.
Yes, and it all ended when Konami attacked.
So is that one of the few things we should thank Konami for, killing 4Kids?
Well, that depends on who you ask.
Well, actually, Jova, what happened was the actual production side
the copyright
of 4Kids,
stuff.
The actual production side of 4Kids became 4K Media, and the other bit tried to move into making sports equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't go so well. For Licensing was the name of the company.
Yeah. And to their credit, 4K Media did retain the voice actors for Dark Side of Dimensions, so that was nice of them. But back to this movie. See, here's the thing, Dej. See, the reason the movie feels like that to you is because, like I said, see, here's the thing. Let me bring back to the Pyramid of Light, because the Pyramid of Light has a simpler story than this, like Teo said, but at the same time, we did spend a good amount of 10 minutes explaining the villain and who he was, building up to his appearance, and as a result, even though the movie was still bad, the climax felt, well, climatic still, because it felt like it was the result of a build-up, whereas in here, nothing is built up. We just immediately start with Jaden being chased by a dragon, then Jade and Yuki, then, oh, that's right, and Yugi's here too, and then immediately they find each other, and then immediately Paradox shows up, and then immediately they start dueling, and that's just the rest of the movie, just that duel, and the three protagonists barely even talk to each other outside of the duel. And as a result, nothing in this movie feels flashed out. Nothing. And yes, I get that this was meant to be more of a celebration rather than a proper story like Dark Side of Dimensions was. But still, like, at least have the characters
Wait, Pedro. Here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I was just saying where your argument earlier was, where's everybody else? I was like, that's not the important criticism to have. There's
sure.
More to it.
Well, see, here's the thing. My argument to that, what I was trying to say with that argument, Dej, is that, okay, if you're not going to bother properly pacing this thing to make things feel meaningful or impactful, at least throw more cool fan service to make up for it. But they didn't even do that. It's just, I don't get neither. Neither fan service nor, at the very least, good pacing and somewhat adequate writing by Yu-Gi-Oh standards. It's just a very... as for a 10th anniversary celebration, this feels very phoned in, because it feels like it was rushed the fuck out of the creators' assholes, and it just does like the bare minimum. It has no time to. It leaves no time for anything to breathe. You don't get any time to absorb anything. You don't get even time to enjoy the three main characters interacting with each other, because immediately after they meet each other, immediately Paradox shows up, giving we do technically explain who Paradox is, but it's explained quickly via a monologue. It's not and it's just, who cares? He's just a bad guy for us. Like, there's no, and yes, that applies to most other Yu-Gi-Oh villains as well. But at least Pyramid Light tried to pretend that it was interesting. This movie feels like it's on an autopilot. Like it's literally a checklist type of affair. That's what this feels like. And as a result, nothing feels impactful. Nothing feels climatic. It just feels like a very, very rushly made movie just to cash in on Celebration and stuff like that. Darkside,
God, you are gonna have such a heart attack when we eventually see the Pokemon 10th anniversary special.
was that I forgot which movie. I might have seen it, but I don't remember which one it was.
Mastermind Mirage.
Mastermind Mirage. That was the one where they first replaced the.
It's the most non-canon that was made for American audience.
Don't worry, we'll get to it. The point is, yeah, not a fan of this one, especially because, okay, like I said, okay, so you have no build-up, you have no good pacing. Okay, the only thing I can possibly enjoy from this is fan service, but you clearly have such a big hard-on for 5Ds that you really gave both GX and the OG series the shaft. And yeah, like, if you're going to, it's the same problem I have with Turtles Forever, where it's supposed to be a celebration of both the 2003 show and the 80s show, even though it's the creators clearly prefer the 2003 show and portray the 80s
yeah,
most
because Peter Lart's a bitter old man.
Well, I get that, Dej, but put your personal feelings aside when you're making a project. Stay impartial. It's just like try your best to reach a balance. That's all I'm asking. I don't believe I'm asking for much. But the point is, yeah, not a fan. It should for a 10th anniversary celebration. This should have been better than this. Even by Yu-Gi-Oh standards, I will believe this is weak. Dark Side of Dimensions was a far better celebration. And yeah, and like I said, I actually enjoy the Pyramid of Light movie more. Yeah, like the Pyramid of Light movie at the very least feels more like it was trying to at the very least have some kind of proper structure and pacing. This just feels like it was slappily put together in a hurry. That's what it feels like to me. I'm done. Carry on.
Java?
I'll go next. Personally, I like this movie. That doesn't mean I think it's like amazing or good. It's just like it's that kind of movie where you watch it for the spectacle of the crossover element. And of that, I feel it does it well enough. That said, movie definitely should have been longer so that we could enjoy more to it. Movie also needed to stop giving Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D such a blatant hand job, because holy cow, it's not even subtle at all.
No.
Like, hell, the ending shot is literally in 5Ds here and there. And it is weird how arguably, when you get down to it, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Does get the least screen time out of it. That's not to say that Yugi doesn't get his cool moments. He thankfully still does, and he is arguably the one who kickstarts the final move that allows them to
He's also
win
the one
ultimately.
that He's also the one that texting has a bit more personal stakes, but sure, the GX and 5D's dimensions are collapsing, but Yugi had actual, it also his grandfather dying, actually, in front of him.
He actually saw it right in front of him, yeah. So he does definitely have those stakes here, so fair enough. I do wonder what was up with the decision to make it this short. Was it executive meddling? Was it a limited budget or whatnot? Like, I'll admit, a lot of the CGI models do look pretty high octane until near the end with that one model that looks a bit off, but otherwise I wonder if maybe they blew their budget on the CGI.
My instincts tell me, Jova, that the filmmakers were clearly rushed to meet a deadline. Clearly, this doesn't feel like it was given the proper time in terms of deadlines. It doesn't feel like that at all.
This movie in particular, though, okay, I do like how when we do have the three protagonists alongside each other, it does do stuff that harkens back to each of their series, which is stuff that I do like. And I guess I can respect that the movie doesn't try and pretend like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 4 didn't happen. I do wish they could have, I kind of wish they could have maybe have tried to explain some things better for Jaden's case, but to be fair, that was more so whoever decided not to localize GX Season 4's fault than this movie's is in that regard. That said, though, the conflict is an interesting one, but again, a lot of the story elements feel like they could have so much more going for them if we had a longer runtime. Like, that's arguably the biggest complaint I have about this movie is short runtime. Like, okay, look, the fact alone that it's supposed to be a crossover between these three big shows, like, say what you will, but each was big in their own way. I do think that should dictate at the very least having 90 minutes at the extreme least. Like, heck, go beyond, go all out with it. It is frustrating, and don't get me wrong, I still do have fun with this movie. Like, I still get a kick out of it, and it's not like it demands too much of my time. But all the same, as somebody who preferred something like, say, the original series or GX, and I still like 5Ds, but my preferences are definitely with the earlier two, it was kind of weird. Like, I mean, okay, maybe for the sake of argument, it could be that 5Ds was the current, if not most recent show, so I can sort of get that from their perspective. And yeah, it is a bit of a shame that a lot of the cast from the other two doesn't get to show up as well.
Could you imagine if
overall,
Zexal debuted when this came out?
Maybe.
My God, that would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they might have made Yuma better in it. Who knows? Funny because the abridged version of this movie kind of poked fun at that. But
my method of making Yuma better is by burning him at the stake. That's the only that would be my primary way of improving. In fact, the whole of Zexal, can we just burn that series on a stake and just let it die?
Again,
that's okay. Arc V did that.
I was about to say Arc V got you covered, Pedro. Don't worry.
Yay!
Yep.
I heard Arc V had its own.
So basically, what you're telling me, Taylor, is that Arc V literally starts by saying, "Yes, we know you hate Zexal. Here, here's us sticking a shit on it." Basically,
I mean, personally, a real writer would try to take elements good from it, try to do it justice. But okay.
Yeah, there are some things that are beyond salvaging.
I mean,
I don't believe in that mentality.
To be fair, they kept the best character from that series, Kaito. So there is that.
Okay, I mean, that's fine, but at the same time, I don't want the whole identity of bringing something back to be, this sucks, kick it to the ground. It's like, nah.
A lot of Japanese movies seem to like to try to confine as much as they can to a short run time. I'm not saying that it's a thing that only Japanese media does, but it's something I noticed a lot in Japanese movies here. Like, a lot of ideas that they have, they like to confine to short run times when arguably they would do much better with longer run times here. Stuff like Your Name comes to mind. Why do I mention that? Because go on.
Just to respond to what you just said, to confirm that too. It seems that it might be that driven. Because I noticed also for a couple of other products, like you said, some Dragon Ball OVAs also falls into this. But Japan seems to be perfectly okay with that. So my pondering is that I wonder if this was mostly created for a Japanese audience, and the actual English dub was kind of an afterthought for the Western audience, especially because most of Europe did not get this.
Well, considering how this takes season 4 of GX into mind, that would not surprise me. And mind you, I'm not going to act like acknowledging season 4 of GX is a bad thing. Like, it's whoever decided not to localize that season's fault, but still, yeah, I do get what you mean in that regard. It's like, I mean, seriously though, this one seems to repeat a lot of issues that I see, in that stuff would be a lot better if they gave it more of a runtime. Like, I mean, it sort of falls into one of the issues people had with Dragon Ball movies here and there. Oh, these supposedly bigger threats end up taking way less time to deal with than the threats in the show did.
Again,
for obvious reasons. BoJack, Return of Frieza,
Android 13,
the Return of Broly,
2 times.
Yeah. Oh god, the Bio Broly movie.
But yeah, go on.
But yeah, I feel like that's definitely this movie's biggest sin, is its short runtime, because this movie has a lot of cool ideas. I do enjoy watching it, but I don't deny that it could have been way better. First off, stop giving handjobs out to Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Look, it's a good show, yeah, but I mean, I guess if we're going with the mentality that it was the most recent one, so technically that was the current time thing that we should follow, it feels weird. Such a weird thing to do, even. Like, GX and the original series were still very beloved, so it feels weird to see them play second fiddle to 5Ds. Especially because the villain is an original one and one who overall time travels. Like, sure, yeah, he uses a motorcycle, but so what? I mean, that could just mean that motorcycles are still a thing even into the further future. Which they kind of, sort of are. It's
okay, again, the final villain from 5Ds kind of confirms that. And you have to remember that Zexal probably operates on another timeline altogether, while Arc 5 is more of a mashup than an actual continuation. So
Zexal was the first show that felt like it could be in a different timeline. And
I don't even know where the Reigns fits in all of this, to be honest.
Oh, we'll get to that show eventually. Believe you and me. But yeah, this movie in particular, it has a lot of enjoyable moments. You're like, especially with the crossover bits, how they pay homage to each of the characters and their series here and there. It's just that you wish there was more to it. You wish there was more of the characters. You wish there was more of the plot to develop on. You wish there was more of the villain to develop on. You wish there was more of the crossover aspect to go on. Like, this should have been at the very, very least 90 minutes. Like, squandering it to 49 minutes, especially putting this in theaters, it's definitely no surprise why, if there was a theatrical release in the West, it was a very limited release, because, look, I don't care how good a movie is, 49 minutes is a lot to expect people to pay full ticket prices on for. That said, though, this movie, it's fun enough, but I do want them to try the crossover thing again and do it better. As a movie, mind you, I know we have Arc V, but you get what I mean.
As long as Yuma's kept out of it, I'm fine with that.
All right, Tio.
Sure. I did some research in the meantime, like I said, and again, it seems that the movie was intended to be like this from the get-go. What we watched was the original version that was also released, which is the current one that you can find in Blu-ray. The original release in DVD for North America and Europe featured also a 10-minute recap at the beginning with animation essentially pastiche from all three series to explain just who these people are and what their deal is. It's a typical for kids stuff too. I'm fine either way. Honestly, I don't think it improves the movie that much. It's also essentially called catches up. People are not fan of the free series, but I have to be honest. What are you even doing here if this is your first exposure to Yu-Gi-Oh? You really had to search yourself this one. But anyway, as for the film, I still like it technically, as it's this small enjoyment bit, but I argue it should have been longer. I agree it should have been longer. Honestly, like I said, I wish Pyramid of Light and these had their timestamps swapped, because it feels like Pyramid of Light had less reason to actually have a complex plot and just needed to be the simple duel between Kaiba and Yugi with a Pyramid of Light. Well, this one probably would have had better having the character fan service. Most of it comes from the battle banter and the cards used, which, let me talk about this. Compared to the other OVAs, two OVAs of Yu-Gi-Oh! And most of the series, this duel is scripted as fuck. And even for the standard of the franchise, usually Yu-Gi-Oh! In duels in anime tend to be constructed to be entertaining for the audience. Sometimes fucking up with the rules intentionally. As it read, for example, all the fucking times Yugi pulled out of his ass the golden arrow card in the early seasons. But they still managed to make the stakes, enjoyable. This one due to the pacing, arguably, this particular duel feels way too much telegraphed. The characters don't get to use a lot of their monster because of restricted times. Yusei is only to use part of his junks. Jaden uses only Neos, not even one of the Neos.
He doesn't get to use any of his elemental heroes. The guys he started out
to be
with.
fair, Java, you have to remember, as soon as he got the Neospatian, Jaden say good fucking bye to the elemental heroes.
Well, actually, no.
I thought he lost the ability to see those cards.
Okay, that was a thing from GX in itself, which was also stupid because it gave rise to Chad's seeing Ojamas. But that's a topic for another time. What I'm getting
from what I recall, Jaden still used elemental heroes even into Season 4 as well.
What I'm getting at here is the fact that each character don't get to use most of their deck potential, and as a result, the only one who does it technically is Paradox. And again, it does what every Yu-Gi-Oh media tends to do, basically a commercial for this new package of cards. In this case, the Malefic archetype. And apparently, from what I heard, probably reading here, the poor sons who actually see these in theaters got the shittiest of the Malefic cards, the Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon, which really sucks. Although, like I said, from what I heard, when I read here, Japanese people received it positively more this movie and actually see it in bunch because it was number 6 in the Japanese box office chart and grossed around $2 million, overall, 1 million just in its first week. So for a limited theatrical release, just for Japan only, it's still pretty impressive. Mind you, I don't remember how much competition was. It was around the early 2010. So who knows? But yeah, it's pretty clear that this is more of a product with that kind of mentality for Japan that just simply got ported to the West for convenience sake, but as a result loses most of that. As a celebration of a pre-series, I still kind of enjoyed it, even if it's clearly biased, but it could have been even better. Also, what the fuck was Jaden doing in Venice? Seriously, I don't understand.
Okay, little Karibo.
Well, Tio, at the very least, we can assume that Italy is now repaired.
Hopefully, with Kaiba Corp. Thank you.
He's gonna turn Italy into his next Kaiba Park.
Why not, Kaiba Land? But that's pretty much it for us. Maybe we'll do at some point the Dark Side of the Dimensions OVA, since it's the last remaining one. Again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have that much OVAs, so there's only technically one remaining, technically. Though we might at some point also revisit the series in one of the series in some kind of fashions. We'll see what happens. The problem with Yu-Gi-Oh, as you know, is that the series are very long, so we need to properly schedule ahead if you want to do something like that. In any case, stay tuned for future Yu-Gi-Oh content. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.